Hi everyone, my name is Allie Bentley and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Reader's Theater strategy and how you can implement that into your classroom and incorporate that into your students' education. So Reader's Theater is an activity that students can do and it promotes and improves the speed of your reading. Students read scripts to develop skills and work with one another. And it should include a lot of dialogue so that the students are actively communicating and working along with one another. Reader's Theater improves fluency, read-aloud expression, and helps build reading confidence, especially for students who don't like to read out loud or like to sit in the back of the class and not really participate. This is a fun way for them to get involved without going too far out of their comfort zone. And it really would have helped me. I didn't like to read out loud in front of my other peers when I was in grade school. And I think that Reader's Theater would have definitely helped me a lot get out of my comfort zone. And because it's just fun. It's fun and it's helping students learn how to read. It really does help. So the way that Reader's Theater works is the teacher picks out a script, and it's important that the teachers pick out a script that the students, it's in their level that they can reach. It's not too high and too challenging that it's not in their reach, but it's not too low that it's disengaging and not fun for them. And it's important that the Reader's Theater script that you pick has a lot to do with their background knowledge. They're aware of it. It's interesting to them. It comes like they're enjoying it and it's in one of their interests. It's important to know all that, because if you give them something they've never seen before or something they're not interested in, it's not going to have the same effect because they're not going to be interested and they're just not going to want to do it. So it's important to know that, and knowing your students can really help with that. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're picking a script. So once you pick a script, you can either do a lesson or however you wanted to handle that, and then you can go ahead and give them the script, split them into groups. Preferably, I would say that give them their role, because you don't want them arguing over it and getting upset about it, because that may ruin the whole thing for them. So I think you should just give them their own role before. And once you give them their role, you let them look at it for a few minutes individually, let them know their part. They can practice it and get it down pat. And then after a few minutes of that, you put them all together. They can practice it collectively. It's important that you let them know, like, you're doing this together. It's not just you reading your part only. It's really important to explain that to them so that they understand that. And after you give it to them, this is kind of an option. You don't have to do this, but it's more fun for them if you can use props, like give them more freedom in it, because you're already giving them a script that's like set up for them. So if you give them props and different backgrounds, performance areas to choose from, the more fun it is for them, because the more independence and freedom they have with it. So that's very important to do. But you don't have to do that. It's not required. That's the great thing about Reader's Theater. If you can't do it, then that's okay. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It works for everyone's teaching style. And then lastly, you can have them perform it in front of either just you as the teacher, just to make sure that they're aware, or that you're aware of their reading level. Is it working for them? And you can just make sure that they're on track. Or you can have them do it in front of other classmates. It just depends on how you want to do it. There's a lot of freedom with it, and it's a great way to see where they're at. And it's also a great way for them to get out of their shell a little bit and have some fun in the classroom, because they're always in class and they need a fun break sometimes, and this is great for them. So lastly, there's a theory that I really liked, and I'll include the link and the APA citation below in the comments. But I found this link on Camborne's 8 Conditions for Learning. And I would really recommend reading this, especially if you're going to use Reader's Theater, if you like it. I think it's important that you really read this and know and understand, because this will just help you be more effective with it. And I think it's super important to know. But the 8 conditions are immersion, demonstration, expectations, responsibility, employment, approximations, response, and engagement. And it's important that you have all of Camborne's 8 conditions for learning and incorporate them, because if you have one that's lacking, it can affect the entire performance. It can affect what you're trying to get out of this. So it's really important to know, because it might not seem like that big of a deal, but if one slips, it can affect the whole thing. It can affect the entire, what you're trying to get out of it. Because you want them to do better. You want them to get something out of this. You don't want to just give it to them and be like, oh, just have fun with it, go. You're trying to get an educational value out of it. So it's important to know this, because it's very important. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening to my video. Have a great night.